airport turned into a scene of tragedy. On July 13, 2025, a Beechcraft Super King Air B200 met a catastrophic fate. The twin turboprop aircraft, a workhorse of general aviation, was just beginning its journey. Moments after its wheels left the tarmac, something went terribly wrong. The aircraft, known for its reliability and versatility, suddenly lost control. This was not a minor incident or a runway excursion. It was a complete and devastating loss of control during a critical phase of flight, a pilot's worst nightmare realized in the clear skies over Essex. The entire event unfolded with terrifying speed, leaving little to no time for recovery. The aircraft involved was a Beechcraft B200, a type with a long and generally stellar service record. These planes are used globally for everything from corporate transport to air ambulance services. They are celebrated for their robust design and dependable performance. The specific aircraft in this incident, a 12-meter-long machine, was powered by two powerful turboprop engines. Its departure from Southend seemed like any other. The weather was not reported as a significant factor. Yet, shortly after lifting off, the aircraft behaved erratically, departing from its expected flight path in a manner that suggested a serious mechanical failure or a sudden loss of pilot control. The flight's intended destination has not yet been officially released by authorities. Similarly, the number of souls on board remains unconfirmed as of this writing on July 14, 2025. This lack of information is typical in the immediate hours following such an event, as officials work to notify next of kin and piece together the full manifest. General aviation flights like this one can carry a small number of passengers, but every seat represents a life. The uncertainty adds a layer of anguish for families and the wider aviation community, all waiting for definitive news from the emergency services coordinating the response. The initial moments of the flight are the most critical. Takeoff and initial climb demand maximum performance from the aircraft and intense focus from the crew. Any anomaly during this phase can escalate into an emergency in seconds. For the King Air at Southend, this critical window closed with disastrous finality. Instead of climbing safely away from the airport, the aircraft fell back to earth within the airport's perimeter. The subsequent impact was violent, leading to an immediate and intense post-crash fire that signaled the severity of the accident to all who witnessed it from near and far. The crash was not a quiet event. Upon impact, the Beechcraft B200 erupted into a massive fireball. The aircraft's fuel load, necessary for its intended flight, became an accelerant for an inferno that consumed the wreckage almost instantly. Eyewitnesses at the airport terminal and in the surrounding areas described a sudden violent explosion, followed by a plume of thick black smoke. This smoke billowed hundreds of feet into the air, creating a dark, ominous column that was visible for miles around. It served as a grim beacon, broadcasting the tragedy far beyond the airport's fences and alerting the local community that something terrible had occurred. The sight was harrowing for all who saw it. Passengers waiting in the terminal for their own flights were confronted with a direct view of the unfolding disaster. The initial shock was quickly followed by the sounds of approaching sirens as emergency crews were dispatched. The smoke was not just a visual spectacle, it was a sign of the intense heat and destructive power of the fire, which presented a significant challenge for the first responders. The nature of the fireball suggested a high-energy impact, leaving little hope for anyone who might have been on board the aircraft. The scene was one of complete and utter devastation. For those closer to the incident, the experience was even more visceral. The explosion sent a shockwave that could be felt by people in nearby buildings. The fire raged with an intensity that made an immediate approach impossible, even for trained firefighters. The priority shifted to containing the blaze and preventing it from spreading to other airport facilities or nearby fuel storage areas. The wreckage itself was largely unrecognizable, consumed by the post-crash fire. This level of destruction makes the subsequent investigation significantly more difficult, as crucial evidence can be easily lost to the flames. The images of the smoke column quickly spread across social media, painting a grim picture of the situation at Southend. It was a stark reminder of the inherent risks of aviation, even with modern technology and safety protocols. The black smoke against the afternoon sky became the defining image of the day's events. It symbolized the sudden and violent end of a flight that had barely begun. The aftermath of the impact left a charred scar on the airport grounds, a physical manifestation of the tragedy that had just taken place, shocking a community and halting the normal rhythm of a busy regional airport. The emergency response was swift and extensive. Essex police were alerted to the incident just before 4 p.m. local time and immediately began coordinating a large-scale operation. They worked in tandem with the airport's own fire and rescue service, which is specially trained for aircraft-related incidents. Multiple units from local fire brigades and ambulance services were also dispatched to the scene, creating a massive presence of emergency personnel. Their first priority was to battle the intense blaze, a dangerous task that required specialized foam to suppress the jet fuel fire. The coordination between different agencies was crucial in managing the complex and hazardous crash site. As a precautionary measure, authorities moved to evacuate nearby facilities. A golf club and a rugby club, both located in close proximity to the airport, were cleared of all people. This was done to ensure public safety, protecting them from the smoke and the potential risk of secondary explosions. The police established a wide cordon around the crash site, securing the perimeter to preserve evidence and allow emergency services to work unimpeded. The methodical and professional response was essential in managing the chaos and ensuring that the scene was made safe for the investigators who would soon follow. The crash brought all airport operations to an immediate and indefinite halt. Air traffic control suspended all takeoffs and landings, effectively closing London's Southend Airport. At least 4 flights scheduled for Sunday afternoon were officially cancelled, and incoming aircraft were diverted to other airports in the region. This disruption affected hundreds of passengers, whose travel plans were thrown into disarray. The closure was not just a matter of logistics, it was a necessary step to allow emergency crews full access to the runway and surrounding areas, and to ensure the integrity of the accident site for the forthcoming investigation. The impact on the airport's schedule was significant, but it was a secondary concern to the human element of the tragedy. Airport staff had to manage the difficult task of informing passengers about the cancellations while dealing with the shock of the event themselves. The closure highlighted how a single incident at an airport can have a ripple effect, causing widespread disruption to the national and international air travel network. The focus remained squarely on the emergency response and securing the site with the resumption of normal operations contingent on the progress of the initial investigation and the clearing of the wreckage. With the immediate emergency under control, the focus has now shifted to the investigation. The UK's Air Accidents Investigation Branch, or AAIB, has been tasked with uncovering the cause of the crash. A team of highly skilled investigators was dispatched to Southend to begin their painstaking process of examining the wreckage and the crash site. Their work is methodical and complex. They will collect every piece of debris, document the scene with meticulous detail, and look for the aircraft's flight data recorder and cockpit voice recorder. These so-called black boxes are designed to withstand intense impacts and fire and could hold the key to understanding the aircraft's final moments. The investigation will be a multifaceted effort. Beyond the physical evidence at the site, the AAIB will scrutinize the aircraft's maintenance records, the pilot's training and medical history, and communications with air traffic control. They'll also analyze weather data and any available video or eyewitness accounts. This comprehensive approach is designed to leave no stone unturned in the quest for answers. It's a process that can take many months or even longer to complete. The goal is not to assign blame, but to determine the probable cause and make safety recommendations to prevent similar tragedies in the future. This incident at Southend does not happen in a vacuum. It comes at a time of heightened scrutiny of aviation safety, following another recent and major air disaster. Just a month prior, on June 12, 2025, an Air India Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner crashed near Ahmedabad, India, resulting in the tragic loss of 241 lives. A preliminary report into that accident suggested a potential issue with the fuel control switches. While the two crashes involve very different aircraft and circumstances, they contribute to a growing public concern about the safety of air travel, a sector that has long prided itself on its exceptional safety record. Every crash, no matter the size of the aircraft, sends ripples through the entire aviation industry. The Southend King Air accident will be studied closely by pilots, manufacturers and regulators around the world. It serves as a somber reminder that despite incredible advancements in technology and stringent safety protocols, aviation is not without risk. The findings of the AAIB's investigation will be crucial, not only for providing closure to those affected by this tragedy, but also for reinforcing the continuous cycle of learning and improvement that is the bedrock